I'm sure we've all heard of Lia Thomas, the openly trans swimmer. She has all of these big wins, but what if they weren't actually that big? Lia Thomas has been swimming since she was 5 years old. She grew up with her older brother, who's also a swimmer, and her mother and father in Austin, Texas. She has always been a star athlete, placing 6th in her high school championship. But even though she was a star, she always knew something was wrong. She suffered from depression and always feeling like she was in the wrong body. She finally transitioned to female in 2021 and decided her next step after hormones for a year was to join the women's team. This sparked a major controversy, especially after she won the NCAA division in March of 2020. I first want to talk about her history on sports teams, as she spent a majority of her career on a males team, and her 500-yard freestyle and 1650-yard freestyle was ranked top 100, and she recorded top 10s at UPenn in the 2018-2019 season before she transitioned. She went from 65th to 1st for women's team for the 500-yard freestyle. So that is a pretty big jump. All things considered, the biological differences give her a large advantage. From the perspective of a female athlete, I don't think it's fair to have a biological man competing against a biological woman just because of the large advantages she faces. Lia Thomas pre-transition had trained on a male team for 17 years prior, so she has a lot of experience training in a male's strengths and weaknesses. Biological males have the upper hand in strength and speed sports, while women have the upper hand in endurance. So Lia has had 17 years of experience highlighting speed and strength, which is a woman's natural weakness. So coming on to the women's team, she has the upper hand because she has trained for 17 years in what a woman is naturally more weak in. While you could argue that she has the biological woman on the team have the upper hand in endurance, that's what women focus on more. So all women across the women's sports are going to be training mostly in endurance because they want to highlight those strengths. Another thing that I think is really important to know is a lot of people think that because she was on hormones for a year that she somehow, her whole body has changed and she now has the body of a woman. And although it does lower testosterone levels to a very low amount closer to a woman's, it doesn't completely diminish like the strength and stuff. And I think mostly that's the NCAA's fault, just because that is the NCAA regulations, where after a year taking hormones you are able to switch gender teams, and so she followed those rules. But one thing that's really important to note is that muscle has long-term memory, so when it comes to training and like strength and stuff like that, trans women will retain most of their strength from when they were male. Also, another thing is it's been proven that the LBM and muscle area in trans women have remain above biological women even after 36 months. So that's well over a year. And Lia Thomas was only on hormones for a year. So she definitely still had that strength and that body mass. One thing that's super important that I think to touch on is the opinions of the other female swimmers that are competing against her because as a feminist athlete, their opinion should be what matters the most, because they're going to be the ones that's competing against her, and those are the people whose futures are going to be put to the test. And there's one swimmer in specific, her name's Rika Gairo. She's a 2016 Rio champion, and she swam the 500 free at the NCAA in March of 2022. She placed 17th and not making it to the finals, and it was really sad for her, just because it was her last year competing, and this was her last chance to make it to the finals, but she wasn't able to, and she feels like it got stolen from her because of Lia Thomas being on the swim team. And not only that, but there was another girl who placed ninth, and she didn't make it to the A finals, keeping her from winning the All-American title or getting it to the All-American swimming championships. And that was also very devastating, and I can really see how that affected her. And Lia Thomas pre-transition had trained on a male team for 17 years prior, so she has a lot of experience training in a male's strengths and weaknesses. Biological males have the upper hand in strength and speed sports, while women have the upper hand in endurance. So Lia has had 17 years of experience highlighting speed and strength, which is a woman's natural weakness. So coming on to the women's team, she has the upper hand because she has trained for 17 years in what a woman is naturally more weak in. While you could argue that she has the biological male on the team has the upper hand in endurance, that's what women focus on more. So all women across the women's sports are going to be training mostly in endurance because they want to highlight those strengths.